How to start a barbershop and make $114,000 a year. Let's face it, everybody needs a haircut. And guys, if we can find a barber who treats us right and lines us up, and I need a haircut right now, so I really need to go find myself a barber who can line us up. That barbershop can have a reoccurring revenue every 3 to 4 months or every 2 months when somebody gets a haircut. So there's a massive need for this business, and if you can set up a great business, and I'm going to show you here how much you can make, how much it costs to start a barbershop, and how you can be successful in this business. My name is Nate Jones. I run this channel. I make videos on how to start businesses, business tips, how to run a successful business. So if you're wanting to be a business owner, you are a business owner, hit subscribe. And if you like this video, hit like. Okay, let's get into how much it's going to cost for you to start a barbershop. There is a little bit more costs in the first year because we're going to need a retail office space. We're going to need a retail space with about, I would say 1,200 to 1,500 square feet, that we have enough room in there to where it's not just us, but we're also going to have other barbers in there too, which is also another secret of this business, how we can really cash flow having other people in there cutting hair with us. But a retail lease, an average retail lease for about 1,200 to 1,500 square feet is going to be about $27,000 a year. That's around 1,000 to 1,200 square feet, I believe. So about $2,250 a month, $27,000 a year. We're gonna have to build out that shop. Okay, we're gonna have to put mirrors up. We're gonna have to make it look like a barber shop. So that's gonna cost us about $15,000 to build out. To get barbershop equipment, chairs, getting everything set up, it's going to be another $10,000. So about $25,000 in the build out, and with your equipment and all your chairs and everything, it's going to be about $25,000 to really get going. Your insurance is going to be very inexpensive because barbershops are low risk. That's going to be about $500 for the year. Your website, which is also going to be equipped with scheduling, I would spend a little bit of money on that. That's going to cost you about $1,000. So your total startup cost is about $53,500. You could get a loan on that. I think your loan would probably be about $500 a month if you put 20% down, which is about 10 grand at a 10% interest rate, a 10-year note. So, interest rates are really killing us right now. So I would budget about $500 to $600 a month for a loan payback, but you need a minimum of about 10 grand to put down in this business to get going. Now let's get into the most important thing of how much can we make. Let's break down how much we can make a day, per week, and how we can really scale this business to really grow it past $114,000 a year. The average cost of a men's haircut today, and this is average, you can always charge more if you're more luxury when it comes to haircutting, but it's about $30, okay? And the time it takes to cut someone's hair is about 30 minutes, okay? So the average cut per day is going to be 10 cuts per day, which 5 days a week is 50 cuts a week, 200 cuts a month, okay? So if we take 200 times 30, that puts us at $6,000 a month that me, as the barber, if I'm opening a barbershop, you should know how to cut hair. There's a way in which you could actually open a barbershop and not know how to cut hair, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But if you know how to cut hair, your revenue is going to be about $6,000 a month, okay? Now, you have all this space, and if you were just $6,000 a month, man, that just doesn't make sense. You're going to barely break even year one. What do we need to do to really, make money in this business? That's where you have those other 7 chairs in your retail office space. So what you're going to do is you can do 2 different things with those 7 other chairs. You could rent them out. I would suggest that you rent those chairs out and you charge around $500 a month. Right now, the average is about $400 a month in which you can rent a chair out. So I would say $500 a month, and that's going to put you at $3,500 in monthly revenue that you can essentially count on. And if somebody doesn't pay their rent, throw them out and bring another barber in. So, $3,500. Or the other route is that you pay somebody hourly, as long as you're paying them under really $20 an hour. Even if they only see one person, you're still making money. So, the issue with that is you need to have enough people coming in, because if a barber is just sitting there and getting paid per hour and there's nobody coming in, he's not getting tips and he's going to get frustrated. So, I would always suggest that you really attract people who kind of want to run their own business, but they don't want to get a lease and build it out. So you can really pay $500 a month for a chair, and they can kind of run their own business out of there. And you, as the business owner, you don't have to worry about collecting their, making sure that they're fed with the amount of people that want haircuts. So I would really recommend that you do the chair rent route as opposed to paying somebody hourly to cut hairs. Now, if somebody really just wants to get paid hourly, you could really go that route. But I would say you want to make sure that you have enough clients coming in and that person's really good. Because if people don't continue to come in, you're not going to make money. Okay, so that's how much you can really bring in. That's where that $114,000, because you're making that rent on the chairs and you're making your $6,000 a month. Okay, so let's go through the cash flow and let's see what our profitability is going to be this first year, and then profitability in the second year, because profitability is the only thing that matters. Everybody talks about revenue and they're like, oh, I have a revenue business that does $1 million, but how much are you profiting? Because if you're not profiting, then nobody really cares, because you have money coming in and it goes right out. So let's talk about profit here. We're going to bring in $114,000, and our profit, our expenses that first year is going to be $53,500. That's what I said with our lease, our build out, our equipment. So we're going to profit only $60,500 that first year. Okay. Year two, we still have the same. Let's just say we have the same revenue, $114,000. This year we only have $28,500 in expenses because $25,000 was taken out from that initial build out. We already paid for that. So year two, we go into a profit of $85,500. That's good profit. You're making $85,000 a year, but that's not great money. That's good money, right? What I would suggest is that you need to open a new location. In a barbershop model, it's really hard to maximize what you can do at one location, okay? You're going to maximize, the walls are going to bust out, and then you need another location. And you see all these barbershops that have franchises, so you can kind of create a franchise model. It's a little bit different. But if you have multiple locations, that allows you to really, your profitability may be cut in half at the next location, but still, now you're making an extra $40,000 a year. So if you're making an extra $40,000 to $50,000 in cash flow per location, the second you add those locations, they start paying for themselves, and then you can really sell that business down the road, because you actually have a business of different locations where you're managing that business, and somebody can come in and buy that revenue. Okay, so I would say you really need to scale past one shop so you can have that exit of getting paid to sell your business, and also that you have more revenue coming in, except for $85,000, because if something goes south and you got to pay for something, or whatever, you have a rough year, your cash flow goes way down. So unless this is really a passion of yours, if you look at the numbers, you really need more than one location. Okay, I think there's a massive opportunity. Like I said before, you don't have to know how to cut hair to own a salon or a barbershop. You can rent a space, and as long as you have enough chairs in there that you're getting paid per month that is more than the lease, then you're cash flowing that lease and you're making money. Okay, so if your rent is $2,000 a month and you're bringing in $4,000 a month from the rental from your chairs, that means you rent out every chair in that salon, you're making $2,000 a month, completely passive income. So it's more of a real estate business. I would suggest that if you're going to open up a barbershop, I would suggest that you go that route. I would try to rent out as many chairs as possible so you don't have to cut hair all day long. Or do what I mentioned in this, where you're making $60,000 cutting your own hair, cutting hair yourself, and then you're renting out the other chairs. Okay, so but again, I really like the passive income side of it, that if you're, for some reason you can't cut hair, you're still making money that day because you're renting out the chairs to somebody else. Okay, so the positives I like about this business is that it is profitable. It's a longer term profit business. I don't really like that. I like businesses that you can turn a profit very quickly. This business, you can't really turn a profit very quickly because you have all these expenses, because you need a retail location, you need the build out. So it is going to take a little bit for you to turn that profit. I do like how it's always needed. People are always going to need haircuts. Doesn't matter if the economy's down. As long as you're in that kind of reasonable range for a haircut, people are always going to need that. The next thing we're going to do is, if we're really serious about starting this business, think of all the ways in which it can fail, and then create strategies around making sure it doesn't fail. So for this business, we need haircuts. We need people to pay us to come in, get their haircut. So we need to have local SEO from our website. So we need to have a website that pops up on Google when people search men's haircuts near me, right? Your Google listing needs to pop up. You need to do local marketing, maybe show up at farmers market, handing out pamphlets. Hey, we're a new barbershop. We're really good. Like, let me give you a free haircut here at the farmers market. Come back and see us if you liked what you had, whatever. Think of ways in which you can get your name out there so people can know, hey, when I need to get a haircut, I'm going to Bob's Barbershop, whatever it is, okay? You need to have retail signage at your location, and you need to make sure that, hey, if you give us a referral and you tell people to come here and you tell them that you sent them, then I'll give you 50% off on your haircut. You need to do some sort of marketing ploy to get people in, and once you build that client base, it's reoccurring revenue. The next thing is we need to have great quality. If we don't have great haircuts, people aren't going to come back no matter how great of marketing we do. We got to be great at what we do. The next thing is we got to show up and we got to make sure our scheduling is tuned up. Okay, so if we say, hey, get on the schedule, your haircut's at 2, and then somebody else is going to haircut at 2, that's frustrating everybody because people do not want to spend more than an hour in a barbershop, and you don't want them more than there for an hour because you want to make money. So making sure that your scheduling is on par and that people are confirmed with their scheduling, so people don't schedule, then don't show up, and then nobody else can be there. So making sure that you have that figured out is super important, or everyone's going to be disorganized. The next thing we need to do is we need to get an LLC and we need to buy insurance. Contact a local agent for the insurance, contact a local attorney for the LLC, and they will hook you up. And then if you really have a passion for this, you're a barber at maybe another barbershop that you don't own, I would really suggest that you look into owning your own shop because you're getting equity in a business, and really look into getting in the real estate side of it, of selling off those chairs to other people who want to be a barber. So that's where I think the real money is in this business, because then you can sell that because you have people in there. And, like me, I like to buy businesses. I don't want to buy a business which I have to go in there and cut hair. I want to buy a business that produces revenue, that when I buy it, that revenue stays there. So if you like this video, hit like. And if you want to watch more videos like mine, hit subscribe. Thanks.